Robattler Ultra is a digital board game where players balance resource management and turn-based combat with roguelike elements. Players take on the role of a rookie Robattler, aiming to become the Robattler champion amongst the competition. Objectives of the game are to amass enough fame to become champion, perform tasks to knock out enemies, such as dropping their fame to 0 by destroying all the robots, and not getting knocked out yourself by keeping your fame above 0 and maintaining a strong robot team. Gameplay is divided between two modes, board mode and battle mode. The majority of the game takes place in board mode, where the player has a top-down view of the board. Players start the game by choosing their first robot type, then rolling die to calculate their starting fame. After this, players roll to move around the board like any other board game. The board will have intersections, allowing the player to choose different paths to follow whenever they come to these joints. Different spaces on the board will alter the state of the game, such as adding or subtracting scrap, the currency of Robattler Ultra, fame, a bar similar to the player's level, healing the player's team, or even forcing the player into battle mode with generated enemies. Specific spaces on the board will present locations within the world of Robattler Ultra, acting as a shop where the player can buy robots, weapons, and items using scrap. Whenever players are on adjacent spaces or past one another on the board, the game switches to battle mode, changing the perspective to a side view. Combat is turn-based, with battle only lasting a single round. Players choose the attack target or to defend with each of their robots individually based on the order of action. While destroying your opponent's robots is definitely a goal, the length of combat is not defined by wiping out the opposition. This keeps the player focused on managing their scrap, fame, and items along with the combat element. Robots have 3 stats: attack power, HP, and speed of attack, which determines their order in battle. The 3 types of robots are the quick attacking striker, the heavily armed tank, and the destructive buster. The player can customize the attacks available to each robot by equipping them with weapons purchased at location spaces or earned by defeating generated enemies. These can be equipped at any time during the player's turn while in board mode. Weapons include items like the flamethrower, which causes more damage when the target is covered in oil and causes damage to the user if they are covered in oil, and the katana, which targets 2 enemies at once. Players can also use items inside and outside of combat, but this is limited to only 1 item per turn in board mode and 1 item per turn in battle mode. Board mode items include the rail ticket, which moves the user to the closest town space, endorsement deal, which gains a small amount of fame to the user. The Rail Ticket Ultra, using this item, allows the player to re-roll the dice one time. Combat items include an oil bomb, which coats the robot in oil, EMP ray, which moves target 1 spot back in attack order, and nanite syringe, which generates 2 HP to the robot. The player's fame represents their popularity in the world of Robattler Ultra and will raise or lower due to what takes place in the game. Players with higher fame are not only closer to their goal of maxing out fame and becoming a champion, but are allowed access to stronger items. When fame drops, players lose access to these perks of stardom. When fame reaches 0, the player's career is over and they lose the game. Players raise their fame equal to the damage they deal in battle, but risk greatly lowering their fame if any of their robots are destroyed. Players lose or gain different amounts of fame due to the spaces that they land on and amongst the board. Players lose 1/3 of their fame if they do not enter battle mode for more than 3 turns. Similar games are games of dice and Pokemon Duel, where players compete head-to-head or against an AI to earn the resources necessary to strengthen their characters for the next battle. Robattler Ultra differs chiefly by making all of this occur within the game board, while putting less of a time to train on player action. The boards for Robattler Ultra will be closer in design to those found in Game of Dice, though considerably smaller. The battle system offers more player choice than Pokemon Duel randomly selected rule-out system, but attempts to mimic its quick nature. The biggest risk of Robattler Ultra is finding a good balance between combat and the board. Both need to continue to add experience regardless of the amount of fame or scrap the player might have. Making certain the board is well laid out will require time to test more than one map. Balanced robots stats will also be important, combat interesting. I want to thank you for your time and sincerely hope you enjoyed my presentation of Robattler Ultra.